Imagine a hospital that even armed security forces are too afraid to enter. People say that at night, the sound of children crying can be heard from inside it, even though the hospital has been abandoned for 40 years. Tonight, you're about to go somewhere that maybe you shouldn't go. Tonight, I want to tell you a story that kept me thinking for several nights. The story of an abandoned hospital, a place where people say anyone who has gone inside either went insane or never came out alive. This hospital was destroyed years ago in a mysterious fire. Rumors say the fire was caused by a deranged doctor named Nadari. The locals say no one stays there at night, even dogs avoid passing by it. But the story begins when three young guys decide to enter the hospital to record a video. Salman, Nima, and Arash. 2:40 a.m. The sound of rain was coming down. When they push the rusted hospital door, it opens with a strange sound. Salman, guys, are you ready? Arash, trembling. I swear I heard someone inside. Nima, with a forced laugh. Come on, guys, don't take it seriously. It was just the wind. But the smell of burning and smoke was still trapped in the walls. The walls were covered with the squirt's fingerprints. The sound of water droplets echoed through the silence of the hospital. Ari said, our flashlights are getting weak. The lights flickered. Total darkness. All three of them held their breath. From the end of the hallway, the sound of metal scraping across tiles was heard. Someone, with a shaky voice, is that the sound of a hospital bed? No one answered. On the door of one of the rooms, written in dried blood, it said, Operating Room Number 3. They opened the door. Papers were scattered all over the floor. Nima looked up and said, Guys, look, this is Dr. Nadri's signature. On one of the papers it said, Patient number 21, 9-year-old girl, regained consciousness during surgery, screamed, and died. At that moment, a fresh sheet of paper appeared among the files, as if someone had just placed it there. Written on it was, Welcome to the hospital. You're number 22. Someone stepped back. No. This isn't funny anymore, is it? Arash whispered. Guys, I feel like someone is breathing behind me. Nima said, Quiet, listen. And the breathing was heard. But there was no one behind them. They went up the stairs. With every step, the air grew colder. Their breath turned into vapor. In the middle of the hallway, there was a burnt hospital bed. On the bed, the shadowy girl was sitting, her legs dangling, her head lowered. Arash said in a choked voice, Someone, are you seeing this? No. This has to be hallucination. The girl slowly lifted her head, her eyes empty, her mouth open. From deep in her dry throat, she said, I didn't want to die. Why did you come? The lights went out. A scream, movement, heartbeats. The camera footage filled with static. The last recorded sentence. She touched me. She was cold, so cold. Then the file cut off. After that night, only someone came back alive, but not unharmed. They say 3 days after leaving the hospital, he committed suicide in his house in the middle of the night. On the wall of his room, written with his own blood, it said, The 3rd floor is still open. Forensic doctors said there were no signs of self-harm with a knife or rope. It was as if his heartbeat had suddenly stopped. But the strangest part of the story, before his death, someone had sent an audio file to the police. It was his own voice, terrified. Behind his words, the sound of a child crying could be heard. The little girl's voice, hoarse and distorted, said, "I told you not to come back. Now it's the other's turn." After someone's death, the police were forced to seal the hospital with welding and concrete. But 2 months ago, a soldier who was on night duty and passing by the hospital swore that he saw someone behind the window on the third floor. A small girl, wearing a hospital gown, staring straight at him. That same night, the soldier abandoned his post and never returned. And now, locals hear the sound of a hospital bed being dragged across the floor every night. From a building that, according to official records, is completely empty. But one thing was never explained. When someone's body was found, a number was burnt into his wrist. 22. What does it mean? Does it mean the hospital is still looking for the next number? Or does it mean that 2 of the 3 still have to go back there? Now, it's your turn to answer. Do you see this story as a myth? Or do you think the hospital is still alive and searching for number 23?